Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Today we will be finishing, I think, the airships.
Well, that's the key word, airships. I took basically like a wiffle ball bat.
It was a plastic baseball bat,
Yeah, here, let me show you. real
but
quick.
probably not used for baseball.
It was like a little kid's baseball bat, and
Yeah, I think it actually did have a baseball with it.
I just didn't get it, and I used the hot knife, cut it in half again. Did the same thing with the deck with the foam core deck, and I'm going to be cutting out some more granny grating to make the deck, as you'll see in the other one that we did last week. But this one's got a lot more detail, a lot more deck space, a lot more gribblies that I'm going to slap all over it. Let's show them the one that we did last week. We added a few more bits and pieces,
Quite a lot more bits and pieces.
and I gave it the usual
It's
black
mostly
bomb.
black right now.
We have some Final Faction wings here, some sort of yogurt
Don't know. Yeah, yogurt. I think.
thingamajig, some bottle caps to make the rest of the engine. We put the grating on there. Little guy made up a really spiffy main gun. We also put
A wheel.
for the steering of the vessel, and the little guy's gonna just be painting that up while I do some work here on this. I just wanted to show you the basic details. I also took this squirt gun that had 3 little reservoirs that I'm probably going to use for some other
Oh,
project.
by the way, I just want to quickly talk. This gun right here, it's not a good gun. See see bad gun.
Yeah.
Bad gun.
It
No one would design a gun like this in any kind of
literally
period
had
ever.
a little reservoir here, a little reservoir here,
And a
another,
larger one there.
and you had to unscrew all 3, and each one would hold about a super glue's worth of liquid.
Yeah, so assuming
like 8 ml or something.
assuming the gun worked how that is, that's unimaginably impractical. I mean, I understand the reason they designed it because look, cool sci-fi gun, shoot water.
Yeah.
But it's unimaginably impractical. I mean, how exactly are you supposed to aim? Second, if you need to reload, you need to reload 3 times. I mean, it already takes long enough to reload anyways. But then you need to do that 3 times, and how do you even aim that thing? You just kind of assume.
Yeah. But I'm actually going to be using this as the 8th ray engine.
I still want to know what the 8th ray is.
Yeah, we'll if you guys could
Been a while since I've
sum
read
it
the John Carter
up,
books.
because the movie is way different than how it really is.
I don't remember that in the.
But I'm gonna have to cut this part off here because it just looks ridiculous, and obviously like a squirt gun. So I'm gonna have to cut this off with the hot knife, and that's gonna take some time. So I'll probably just glue the rest of it in place. You know what? No, I got the hot knife heating up. I'm gonna try and cut this off while he paints up the airship.
So we're having another painting video.
And then I've got some gribblies that I'm going to put here. What do you think about this for a main gun?
I don't know. I'm incredibly conflicted about that because on one hand, that's
Or here.
interesting. Not the exact positioning, but
What about here?
The positioning isn't what I'm worried about.
Oh.
Because on one hand, it's an incredibly effective use of that, but at the same time, I'm kind of worried that we might want to use it somewhere else. But at the same time, it only costs $1. So.
And we've got another tank, and they still have them at the dollar store.
And it's just one. We bought one, and then we couldn't find one for a long time.
Yeah.
So I forget that they're actually pretty common.
So focus on the little guy. I'm going to try not burn my fingers off while I cut this mechanism off, because it's going to take some time. So depending on the plastic.
Too much paint.
Actually, maybe not. It looks like it's not going to be. No, it's not going to be fast, folks. So, and we're not going to make this a really long. Actually, that's cutting through really nice. I think it's because it's harder plastic. And then, of course, I'm going to have to cover this hole and sand it down and things like that. But tell them what you're doing, what colors you're using. That.
At the moment, I'm just using shining silver, which is now incredibly.
Isn't that gunmetal?
Is it gunmetal?
Yeah, I think it's gunmetal.
That explains why it's so incredibly
Dull.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I
not
didn't
dull,
want.
just dark.
I didn't want that part to be anything other than.
But ever since I
utilitarian
started
looking.
using Vallejo silver, nothing can compare
Yeah.
in shine.
Well, maybe the new Army Painter, the new Army Painter speed paints will have a couple of good.
Did I put the gunmetal on this part?
No, leave that black, actually. I think that would look kind of good, just black.
Okay. One thing I always worry about when something's sprayed black is that it will just look too black. But that usually never happens.
Yeah, I think that's why the entire industry black bombs everything is just, it just really just...
Looks good.
Yeah, and it gives you that under coating of black so that whatever you put on it has the shadows already built in for you.
Okay, should I have anything else be silver? Engines, maybe?
No, we want contrast. Anything that you can make, yeah, all that other stuff should be a completely different color.
Well, it seems like a similar. But where's water?
I forgot to get a cup of water. Just don't worry. We're only going to be here like 15, 20
The problem
minutes.
is I'm going to forget to put in the water and then the brush.
I won't.
Okay. Well, actually, it's a very bad brush anyways.
Yeah, it's a very old makeup brush. I need to get some more makeup brushes, but I honestly, I just haven't been able to find them at our local dollar stores, and I don't really like buying them from Walmart, except during the holidays, because during the holidays they have like those Christmas packs, you know, the sort of large packs of cheap brushes in their sort of Christmas seasonal aisle for, you know, the cheap, you know, gifts that, you know, I guess they're designed for, you know, kids to buy for their parents, their mom, I guess. You know, it's just something that's affordable and sort of an impulsy sort of buy for the
Reminds me of the robot.
Hey, that turned out pretty good and pretty easy.
Yeah.
Very little flash left over.
That's good. Because you don't.
I'm certain there's going to be some goodies left in here that I can pull out. I already cut through the hoses. I'm just going to more or less place some plastic card or maybe something like this, just some griblies to hide all this. Now I'm just going to go back and trim it up a little, or clean it up a little if I can, instead of having to use a sander or a emery board or sandpaper or something like that. I actually discovered today I actually need a belt sander because sanding this whole thing nice and level and flat
is very tedious and
not just tedious, but it's difficult to get a perfect sand, a perfect level, and a belt sander. I could just lay the whole thing down on it. So that's actually going to be one of the next tools I get.
Does this look good?
Yeah. What color is it? Yeah. See, as long as it just contrasts from the gunmetal, because it's going to, you know, otherwise it'll just all meld together. We really don't want that.
It's kind of difficult to get down here. This really reminds me of the robot that I made.
It does.
Not only just because I use very similar colors,
but
because I use
the bottle caps. And
I mean, that thing has very heavy use of, not necessarily bottle caps, but more just this general texture of lines and stuff.
Right.
I used a lot of that. It means up there you can see it. But you probably can't. But it's still up there. But that was from a long time ago. What? How's that turning out?
The profile is all that really matters. And
Honestly, this could just be its own ship.
You know, I was thinking that too. If I
we're buying another one.
Yeah,
they don't cost that much.
Yeah, it really. And if I do the same thing and just point it this way and either way, I guess.
Kind of, but this looks a bit too obviously engines.
Yeah. So let me finish this while you finish painting up. Maybe work on the
gun.
I was going to say the tail section.
Oh yes, that.
And if you use a brush, just remember what color you used it, and you can go back to it. So I think I've gotten all I can get off.
So the actual wings now?
Yeah.
Same color?
If you want, I don't see why not.
And I already did them, so.
Guess so. Okay, now I'm done with this. Always clean it off. I just use a X-Acto knife to.
You didn't clip the.
Clean off the blade.
You didn't clip them?
No, they were already clipped from a previous project. I'm going to turn this off.
This. The knob. See that?
Yeah, I actually wanted it the other way, but remember when I showed you if I put them that way?
Yeah, I
they would-
just
they
thought
would
you
tilt.
I thought you just clipped them off.
No.
Were they what was causing that?
No, it was just the angle. The wings are just sort of tilted a certain way. No, I think I can glue this in without worrying too much about sanding it. I hope. If I just really use a lot of glue. And then I can just sand this part later. Of course, once this is all glued together, we'll paint it. I don't know if we'll paint it on camera,
Probably
just
not.
because not this Sunday, but next Sunday is the show-off show, and I think we'll still be painting the thoats this weekend. Even though I'm almost done, I know the little guy's got a little bit more work to do.
I didn't really expect to finish this now.
And the Bronze Age miniatures are the most challenging paint excursion we've had yet.
Definitely.
So if it takes an extra day, because normally we would be done now because we did the base coats, we did the washes, and we did the dry
I'm
brushing.
kind of behind one, so
But even with
about that.
yeah, I still have work to do on the Martian and a little bit more dry brushing. Do I have more dry brushing on him, or is it just the? Yeah, I think it's just the Martian that I need to work on. So we'll probably stretch it out one episode. And if I happen to finish the Martian, then I'll work on this during this weekend's show.
Yeah.
What do you think, folks? Starting to take some shape? I want that down just a little more. Maybe I should use some accelerator. Speed that process up because it's believe it or not, there's not a great connection back there, but it is starting to look pretty spiffy. A little bit more super glue in there. I'm going to use the liquid this time. But all in all, I think this was a fun project. And it actually, when we were thinking about it and talking about it, I didn't think it was going to turn out. I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult, let's put it that way. And now you can see there's a little, I need to make a connection here because this is just not right. This should connect to the hull. So to do that, I'm going to use another one of these really, I think this will work. Did you hear that, folks? That was the pupper being a weirdo.
He's a dog.
I'm going to have to do something different than what I thought with that. I can't use those.
Look good. Look good back here.
Yeah, I like that. Now I guess the gun, or do you want to do the steering wheel area?
I'm not sure. I definitely think that the gun might want to make it in a different color.
You want to try maybe tainted gold,
I suppose that could work.
or evil chrome, which is actually really just.
It's just renamed, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's just copper or something. Is this what it
It's
was?
probably slightly different. Also, I need
The poke tool.
Okay, why did I? Yes, I do.
Got our tools a little bit more organized, even though if you look at my table, you can see that it's a
In
disaster.
fact, not organized.
There's a big old mess
But
on the table.
again, lying.
Because I believe it or not all of these little gribblies, but probably half of these little bits
Okay,
and pieces.
that's bizarre.
Oh wow, it needs to be shaken up a lot more.
Yeah.
Or you know what you could do is,
I think I'm safer just.
if you mix it up with the brush,
You're
because
probably
you're
correct.
gonna dry brush, right?
Yes.
It's just
No. Maybe not.
wow, that's really not good.
It's not good at all.
It just came out like a plastic worm. You know what? You can still dry brush with this.
Well, yeah, but I couldn't do much else.
Very true, buddy. Very true.
That's about all I can do with it. But it still works.
Okay, now I'm gonna put this little contraption underneath here. But this is a very good lesson in saving up all your junk, your gribblies, because I'm not using all of them, but I really did
Just look at
deplete a large number of...
That's awful.
What is?
The paint.
Oh, then don't use it.
No, I mean, I can still use it, and still looks good.
Oh, okay.
It's just, it's weird.
It's weird. Because that is a technical term, folks. Weird. When you have weird paint.
That's by definition. That's what that is. But it's not very good. I mean, I can dry brush with it, but that's about all I can ever do with it.
I'll add some medium to that after the show.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just doomed forever. It's not. We're not.
Peanut gallery.
Yeah, we're not just throwing it away.
No, I meant the pupper.
No, I know.
He's sitting there growling.
No, I know. I just said we're not gonna throw.
Starting
it
to
away.
shape up, folks?
Certainly. And
Okay,
I meant more just we're not throwing this paint away just because of this.
No,
We
absolutely
can fix
not.
it.
No, because...
It's just right now it's bad, but the paint and color is still good. Is this what those paint things you use look like or feel like? The one from the ones in the boxes which I haven't used in a long time. Do they feel like this? Never mind.
The craft paints?
No, I've used craft paints.
Not the speed paints.
No, definitely not the speed paints.
Then I'm not sure what paint you're talking about.
The ones. Never mind.
I really want to get this gun on here, so where do you think, bud? Back here? Or more to the front?
I don't know. I mean, wouldn't it be in the middle be a bit more useful, or maybe the opposite actually, because right here it can reach over here, but then anyone who needs to go through it, if it's turning blocks.
Yeah.
But also if it's right here, which is at the front, so it's easier to shoot things at the front. But actually, yeah, at the front is better.
I'm going to run it a little further back here.
Okay, I think it's a bit more useful in the front though.
There, perfect. Right there. Just going to put the glue on the inside of the cap. That way when I tip it over, it won't leak out and make ugly glue stains, and it'll just, gravity will do all the work and put it right where I want. I'm also going to push it in here until it stops. That way I know that it's more or less centered and even, because it's a circle. Now just hold it down for a bit. Plus, if I put it up in the front, it makes it easier for people to walk around on the deck, which is something that, if I put it back here, it would be very hard for crew members to walk past this big old thing.
Yeah. I think I'm done for now.
Why don't you do the hull? Or at least...
No, the steering wheel is all that's left, and then the hull is going to be some other color.
Okay, well, do the steering area.
And bronze, I suppose.
Or yeah. And
Actually,
then...
I do need to get some...
And we will make the actual steering wheel itself. We'll go back over that with, like, I was thinking gold, just to make it really stand out.
That could certainly work.
And I'll get the...
Okay, does the gun look good?
Yes.
Should I add some paint into this right here?
Yeah, the same stuff, yeah. I really like the way that gun turned out. And he made... when you're
we
done.
can technically make more.
Yeah, and well, except for that one round piece on the side, but when you're done, I want the camera to get like a close up of it, so that everybody can see. It's basically just made out of straws and a little plastic box.
Which we don't remember where it comes from, but we have more of them.
Do we?
I think so. That's why I said we can make more.
I hope so, because. And here I'm actually going to use a glue, super glue gel, because I don't want it to drip down too fast. I was thinking about putting the glue underneath the turret, but then it would drip all over the sides.
So it's not true copper weapon bronze, correct? Yeah. Should I use the plastic brush?
Yeah, you can.
This one?
Yeah.
Would it work?
Yeah, it'll work just fine.
Isn't it? Well, for dry brushing, it isn't that bad.
Yeah, believe it or not, that paintbrush, I have had that paintbrush for 40 years. It's a cheap nylon brush, but it came with one of my Heritage Miniatures paint and play sets. I believe it was a Galacta. No, actually, it was probably a Dungeon Dwellers paint and play set from 1980. And for some reason, I've just been able to hang on to that one. I didn't take it out of one of the newer paint and play sets that I bought when I was collecting or recollecting Heritage, I want to say. But I managed to just have that in my collection of tools for
a long time.
Yeah, almost 40 years. And believe it or not, it hasn't spoiled, it hasn't ruined, it hasn't. Well, it frayed a little bit, maybe a little.
I didn't go over this with 2 cuts.
Okay.
Just because you can very obviously see the lines.
But it's just funny how it's survived all these years.
It's very weird. I think that's good enough. The lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that one area where it's like really, whatever, we could always go over.
Yeah.
We can just hit it with.
That's why I didn't really do anything about it.
No. Hold it up. It's got kind of a retro sort of World War I look to it that I really like.
You know, World War I stuff is pretty cool.
Do you have any more of that color so you can hit right back there?
Yes, I do. I have way too much of it.
Okay.
Considering most of it is not very good state. Oh, it's awful now. Pretty much dry. That's enough?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I think that's about it.
Okay, I want to put a couple of little gribblies on here.
Oh, you're finally eating that?
Yeah. I can get another one at the hardware store if I really need to.
That's true.
I just want it to look like a... You know what? Yeah, I'm going to put it here. Even though I want it to look like a hatch, it can still just look like a... Now it's sticking to my fingers.
I really hope that's not what I think it is. It probably is not what I think it is. I'm just weird.
It probably is. If you think it's the date.
I'll say it later.
Okay. And I will be putting these wings on later, but the video's run on long enough. I'm just going to put some wings on the sides.
Oh, we need to cut holes.
Yeah.
Or cut off those.
And I need to do some measuring, and that's kind of boring. But push all this stuff out of the way, and get kind of a basic idea of what we're shooting for here. Let's see, can I to everybody? Put these pins back over here. And these ones are the dirty ones? And that one too?
This one. This one's the dirtiest, I think.
But this one you didn't use?
I did not use it. But this one is the worst, because it was the one I used that abomination on.
Let's clean up this area just a little. So then we need to replace these this weekend too, don't we forget. They're starting to curl up.
Yeah, and we can actually start cutting them.
Now, why don't you just hold that one? And I'll hold this one. But there you go. 2 Martian airships.
Now I'm kind of confused on what these are. I thought they were blimps.
No, they're definitely. Helium was the name of the major city on Mars where the good guys live.
Really?
Which is really
I forgot that.
confusing.
Considering, do their ships ever actually look like blimps, or is it just a coincidence?
No,
Or is it just the fact that we could get our hands on these?
yeah, it was because we could get our hands on these.
Well,
So there you have it, folks. Next time you see these, they'll be all painted up, and we'll throw some miniatures on them, and maybe some flight stands. I know I have that little flight stand over there for that one.
wait, this one?
No, this thing right here.
Oh.
But there's some way to keep them off the ground, otherwise they're gonna roll
Oh, okay.
around. But there you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this little excursion into junk heaven, and until tomorrow when I will be doing a John Carter game review. Have a great night. We'll see you guys, and of course, have a great weekend.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.